one of the most amazing classic car cemeteries. Halloween, a night when it's quite normal to carve faces on vegetables and treat strange children with sweets. But there are also more unusual things, for example, such as in the courtyard of this German man. Most people think that Michael Fröhlich, a classic car dealer from Düsseldorf, is slightly crazy, and not without a reason. He looks like a cross between Uri Geller and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Tanned, smiling and confident, he has been involved with classic cars for many years. He is also a collector, but not in a usual way. His quirky tastes are hinted by his everyday car, a 5 surviving Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow, which has been fitted with a new chassis and suspension, but the body is still in a sad state, I would say. The further, the more terrifying, because his collection looks even more damaged. It has about 50 cars produced since 1950, which is the year when he was born, and they are parked in the garden of his property, which makes it more like a junkyard. Fröhlich calls it Outer Skulpturenpark, the park of car sculpture, but not everyone is ready to share his vision. A lot of people from car clubs have been here. Most of them were really shocked by what they saw, and some said very distinguished things about him. Oddly enough, this garden is located in the home of the German Neanderthals, about 15 kilometers from his car dealership, in a place of great historical importance. The remains of people dating 600,000 years ago have been found here, and the entrance to the museum is located directly opposite his courtyard. His wife opened the gate for us. She is a real model driving a Jaguar XKR on chrome spoke rims, and the entire body is sealed with leopard wrap. Yes, we are not joking. Things get even stranger. When you walk around his property, straight away you come across Fiat Topolino and Fulad Mobile, which look as if they have already been standing here for 20 years with open doors and roofs. You can also find a Morris Minor parked in front of a large tree and a Goliath under which another tree seems to have already grown. There is a very tired Porsche 356 with racing numbers on the doors, and the Jaguar XK120 is not in the best condition, which once was used in competition by Fröhlich. He told us that he won the historic championship at the Nürburgring in 1984, and the last time he drove this car was 20 years ago. But obviously he will not sit behind this wheel again soon. He wanted the car to look as worn as possible, so deteriorate the paint faster, he covered it with yogurt. This helped speed up the growth of mold and moss. Perfect, what can I say? It seems that just finding, buying and driving 50 cars at the same age as he is was not enough. So he decided to drag them from different countries. Here you can find license plates from Rio, Sweden, Austria, California, Australia. The cars here is just as varied. About the 1950s Holden, Fröhlich said, "I wanted to find an Australian car and remembered a long-time friend who had moved to Australia. So I phoned him and asked if he could find a 1950s Australian car. And each car here has its own story. Somehow, Fröhlich wanted to get the Citroën Traction Avant to his collection. But finding this car was not that easy. When the car was found, Fröhlich offered them 1,500 German marks, which was more than they asked. But the seller said that he has got a better offer and he was going to sell the car to another person. Fröhlich offered an even larger amount, after which the seller thought that there was something valuable in it and disassembled it completely. Fröhlich bought the car anyway, put it back together and parked it in the middle of his garden. Here is also one of 386 Lagonde sedans with a 2.6-liter engine, which now has a large tree hanging over it. Equally rare can be called a small three-wheeled car parked between a Ford van and a tree. This is AC Petite, not as famous as Ace of Cobra, but there are only 6 left. Petite fans, if there are any, would love it. Citroën 2CV, which Fröhlich used as dustbin, can also be found here. Most of the cars were purchased in a poor condition, but there are exceptions. Next to a pretty good Volkswagen, which has all the Carmen nameplates on the body, there is a Buick Special. The American student has carefully restored the car to its original condition. Fröhlich bought it, parked it, and left it to rot. Most likely these cars will become donors for other similar versions or even go to scrap metal. But even in its current state, the owner enjoys them. Quite strange, don't you think so? Don't forget to subscribe and like it. Thanks for sharing, and bye bye.